Hey guys, we're going to be talking about money today, like we always do, but we're going to be talking about it a different way. If we found out that our water supply was poisoned, we would be running for the hills, right? Absolutely not going to drink it at all, even if it's a little bit dodgy. But for some reason, we still operate in a world where the money can be poisoned and we're fine with it. And it's mostly because people don't understand what the difference is. So, we're going to be getting into some articles today. We're going to show you a couple of demonstrations. I think it's important. Let me know if you like this type of stuff, and let's get right into it. All right, you guys, if we look at a glass of water, beautiful water, clean water, tastes good, right? Tastes like water. If I look at a glass of water like that, I drink it. I know that it's been through a filter and I think it's good. And I know that the city tests it and everything. All right. So, what happens if you take a little bit of just regular old all purpose cleaner? Okay. So, if I take this all purpose cleaner and I then drop a little bit into my cup, and I'm not going to mean a lot, but just a little bit. Here's my question. Would you drink that? I wouldn't do that. Okay. There's no way I would drink that because now I know that that is tainted water. But why would you ever touch something like that? Okay. So this is the crazy part. What happens if I took this kind of yellowish water? You could see it. And I said, I drank it and I was like, ugh, I feel disgusting by that. I'm going to be sick. I'm going to call poison control. And then your doctor comes by and takes it and he just goes a little bit more poison into there and then says, drink this, you'll feel better. Honestly, I want to know what you would do. Hey, I got to close this until I spill it. What would you do? The idea is it was good before, you added some crap to it, it made it worse. But for sure, the way to fix this is not for me to put more poison in the water, right? Come on. Even a 2-year-old would tell you that, right? Okay. So how does this have anything to do with us, David? We're talking about money supply. How much dollars is in the system? All right, so let's jump straight over to the graphs, you guys. We're going to be starting to look at Canada, where I live. Now, this is the max chart, 1970. It kind of looks like a rocket taking off. Okay, David, but that's since 1970. Let's look just in the last 10 years. Okay, so that doesn't even encompass the last big recession we had. Straight up, steady, 30-degree angle up, and then 2020 happened. It just went parabolic. It bounced like a super ball going off into outer space. Okay, crazy. All right, David, but we had some tough times. Okay, so let's just look at the last year where the government's really tightening down, raising interest rates. If we look in the last year, we see rates going up and up and up and up and up, and they're just spending more and more and more money every single month. In addition to that, we are now reading in the news all kinds of spending that's going to be happening, all new spending on top of those massive graphs. Okay, David. Well, just south of us is the United States. It is the world reserve currency. They got to be doing a better job. Please go look at Fred. The St. Louis Fed has this website. You can look at M2 money supply, same as Canada. Look at these rates. It just goes up at like a 30-degree angle, and 2020 comes and it just went parabolic, QE infinity. Okay. So these two guys as well, if we just look in the last year, do you see where they have leveled off from right around here, 22,000, and now it's come down to 21? It's barely changed. Okay. Remember, let's look at a 5-year chart just to 5 years. We're not looking back anymore. This tiny, like 1/8 of an inch, maybe less. Let's go back to 10 years. This tiny little bump that you see right here, boop, 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 this tiny little thing. That's it. That right there is what they went down. And you've seen the damage in the economy today. Bloodbath in all the economies. Absolutely crazy over that tiny little smidjola of a change. My goodness, David, this is what I mean is if you take this toxic yellowish water, there's no way I would ever drink that, right? And this is the problem is as people are getting sick from the water, they just keep on dumping more cleaner in and offering you another drink to make you feel better. This is what the money supply does. As they create more money, and keep spending more money, it makes us sicker and sicker as a country and as a world economy. It's getting worse. All right, so let's look at some of the stuff that has been happening today. If we look at Canada, it says the recession rise in unemployment in store for Canada as inflation peaks. Now, I got to push back on that a little bit. I don't know if inflation has peaked at all. I don't see that. RBC is saying that. That's the Royal Bank of Canada. They are warning a bumpy landing will be in store as inflation looks like it has peaked. Yeah, I don't believe that. And now it looks a recession and a rise in unemployment are on the horizon. Remember, there's always a rise in unemployment. So it says a soft landing is when the economy is one where the labor markets and broader economic conditions settle to a sustained levels. Well, we don't see that now, don't see it on the horizon without a contraction in GDP or unemployment rates. Okay, keep dreaming. We've already seen massive contraction in the GDP and we're seeing unemployment go like crazy. Of course, we're losing the higher paying jobs. We're not losing like the jobs selling burgers, you know? This scenario, while ideal, looks increasingly unlikely. They go on to say, okay, let's go on to see what is the government doing about it. Now, let's look at this article. I want you to look at the nationalpost.com. Feds to announce details of cost of living help for low, modest income Canadians. So this is their answer for high costs of everything. Liberal cabinet members said Tuesday, the federal government is listening to Canadians who are struggling under the weight of inflation and offering aid. Okay. This includes doubling the GST rebate payments for 6 months and a national dental care program and a one-time $500 rental allowance payment. Okay. The thing that is most important, I think the most important thing to understand is that there are Canadians out there who are hurting. I got to tell you, everybody is hurting with this inflation. It is completely out of control. Look at this. These measures will cost $4.6 billion. We're a small country, okay? Canada is a small country. There's only 30 million people that live here, but remember, not all 30 million work. There's a lot of old people. There's a lot of young people. There's a lot of people on welfare. It's hard to get through all the numbers, but you know, we may only be 12 million people that work. And so when you saddle 12 million people with another $4.6 billion of debt, divide that and figure out how much your share is if you have a job and you're working. I mean, it's crazy. So this is what we mean, right? It's not against anybody getting any kind of payments. That's not the point. Is if inflation is hurting you and they've poured a little poison into the water, their solution is to add more payment to it. Remember, the government doesn't have any money, right? If the government goes, they can only do two things. They can either take money from the worker's pocket, a worker, any worker, and take it from him and decide to give it to somebody else. That's taxes. If you work, they take it from you and they give it to somebody else. The government inside their offices get to decide how much of your money you get to keep. That's how it works. All right, but if they can't tax you anymore and they've full blown tax as much as they can, and then from the air just start printing money like crazy and giving money away to everybody, all of a sudden inflation takes place and everything gets more money because everyone now is picking up all this money off the ground. They're like, oh my goodness, I'm going to buy pizza tonight, going to buy a new bed, I'm going to buy whatever. Okay. So as they go out and spend all this money, prices go up because supply goes down. Come on, guys. You know this stuff. Economics 101. We learned this in class, right? First day. The entire world works off of supply and demand. So, you know, time and time again, we always know how to get prices down is we need to increase supply. If gas prices are so high, we got to make more gas. If the price of water bottles is too high, we got to make more water bottles, you know? That's how to bring the prices down. The whole idea of getting so entrenched and regulating everything and messing with everything makes it worse and worse and worse, man. And this is like where we're just pouring Drano, you know, into that water and making it sicker and sicker. We need stuff. So here's the tough thing. What are some of the things that you've seen that have run out? I have seen hand soap and laundry soap and dishwasher soap recently. I also saw it where entire lines of the grocery store are empty from all the bread products and wheat products. We've seen meat in massive short supply. What other things have you seen? I saw feminine products. I saw baby formula. We never know where it's going to tumble, right? But here is the guaranteed thing. We just looked at the charts. US, world reserve currency. Europe, the EU, okay? Japan, Canada, all these countries are burning through all this cash, and the supply is going up and up and up, which means, what does it mean? Is something that cost you $20 before is soon going to cost you $50. And not long after that, it's going to cost $100. All you Americans that are watching me, you're going to make fun of us. Yeah, our money is colored. It's not all green. All right. So for you guys, I do have an American dollar here. This is an old one, but as you print more and more money, it becomes more and more meaningless and less valuable. So this is where you need to start doing something yourself. Now, what can you do? Of course, they're going to say you can go vote and, whatever, but that's not a concrete step, and it's not going to change anything. If we look through history, every government always is overspending. And we do that because the way that our system is built up, we use all of the federal funds and all of this money to buy votes. Kind of crazy. So we got to fix that system. What can you do? This is what I always say, is all those things I just mentioned that were short. Remember, toilet paper, baby formula, the soaps, all these different stuff that we've seen run out in the past couple of years. You got to start building up your supplies of this stuff. Go buy rice and beans and make sure that your family is going to have food. We were talking to one of our guys. He's stocking up on diapers and maybe baby clothes and whatever he's going to need. Number one, is probably the best price you're going to see right now, because we'll probably have inflation stick around for a long time. The governments are still printing a lot of money. We saw the charts. Do you think they're just going to stop instantly? Come on. They've never really stopped. You've looked back at the chart all the way back to the 70s. It's just up. So guys, we have to play the money game like they do. If you can go buy the stuff now, not only will you save yourself money in the long run, number two, you're going to make sure that if there is ever a shortage, that you already have it. That's the number one thing. As you guys know, I'm always suggesting everyone go buy a little bit of gold. This is a Royal Canadian Mint 1 ounce. You should be buying a little bit of silver. You can start with a little bit of silver. Always buy a little bit of Bitcoin, a little bit of silver. Make sure that you're buying real estate properties in landlord-friendly jurisdictions. Remember, we have to buy properties in places that make sense. From day one, thou shalt not gamble, right? We got to make sure that you're making money if you can through this recession, at least bare minimum, not be losing any money. Anyway, as you know, I'm always here for your health, wealth, and happiness. I really want you guys to succeed. I want you to keep crushing it. If you're anywhere in the Greater Toronto area, we can help you. If you're anywhere in the North America, we also help you as advisories and consultants. So reach out to me anytime. You guys, please be careful. Be very careful. If you know anybody this can help, please send it to one person. It would really help me out. Please remember to like, subscribe, and follow to this, and we'll check you out on the next video. Have a good night, everyone.